Hey guys, what's up? It's Jeremy from Weldtec Designs. We're hanging out in the shop right by the Ford Transit because we have transit questions that you guys have been asking, and I don't want to reveal any secrets, so I can't let you too close to it because you may see what we're doing next to the Ford Transit. All right guys, first question is in the rear of the Ford Transit, the King 2.5 shocks add a 1/2 inch equal, hold on, all vans with a 2.5 shock upgrade, clearance, mount, reservoir mount. So let's just say, man, some of these questions get confusing. In the rear, could you install the King 2.5 shocks with a 1/2 inch? So in the rear, so I think what this means is in the front, with the coilover shocks, could you add a 1/2 inch of preload to get more equal ride height, since the rear of the van usually sits higher? The question for that would be yes, definitely. You could add even maybe 1 inch of preload to get more height out of the front of your Ford Transit trail. Now, the biggest thing that you're going to want to watch out for is the camber correction. So if you go too much, you might throw the camber out. That's where then you would have to do a Weldtec Designs lower control arm in order to correct the camber. So there we go. On the Transit trail, how does the Trail Hero kit alleviating the rubbing issue that's on the Transit trail? Well, it kind of goes back to that first question. You could add more preload to the front of that. Another thing that you could do is add slightly more caster to it, which would push the front wheel forward just a little bit. I'd also tell you, hey, you could trim that pinch weld. I have a 2-inch kit on my Ford Transit, and I am running a 265/75/16 tire. So I'm running a big tire. I only have a 2-inch kit, so it's definitely possible, because on the Transit trail, I want to say it's only a 245. So that's like a baby tire for the Ford Transit. If I max out the coilovers to achieve 2.5 inches of lift, won't the ride be harsh? Yeah, definitely. You're putting a ton of preload into that. It's not necessarily that it's going to be like really harsh, because the spring is just, you're preloading the spring to hold it up. Now, the only thing that you might not get is full compression, so that the shock won't fully compress. You may lose a little bit on there, but I mean, I don't think it will be horrible. However, I haven't done it yet. That maybe is going to be a future video. We could get a Transit trail, put 2 inches of preload in it. I could let you know where your camber and caster are. I know that if you definitely try to go that height, you will 100% need a lower control arm in order to correct your camber, because that is a ton. What is the spring rate on the front with the coilovers? Top secret info, 2.5s. Can you change the spring rates to get a perfect ride? So we think that we have a really good spring rate on there right out of the box. I have run a heavier spring rate on it, wasn't particularly happy or in love with it, so that's why I went with the spring rate that is on there. Granted, it's up to you guys if you add a lot of weight, depending on what you're doing. Yes, that's the great thing about these coilover shocks, is you can change spring rates on them to compensate for what you're doing to your vehicle or what you've done to it. So lots of variables that you have the ability to change. Technically, you could go a higher spring rate, maybe even change the valving in it to lighten it up. Tons of different things that you can do. Let's see. If we do the rear shock high clearance bracket, now that it raises it 2 inches, what are you recommending for the rear shocks? Well, we're making a King 2.5 rear shock. This does have a remote reservoir. It's going to also come with a stiffener bracket that's going to make your factory mount stronger, and then you can run the high clearance mounts on the bottom. Granted, you don't necessarily have to. It's just one of those things, if you're trying to gain more ground clearance, definitely recommend it. And that all works together. That is what I am currently running on the rear of my Ford Transit. Outside of the Trail Hero kit, explain why we don't have any other front options besides King. Well, really what it is nobody really wanted to make a shock for this. You know, we spent the last 2.5 years working with King to develop and build this shock. You know, we gave them a brand new Ford Transit so that they could put this shock on there. So now we have one because I know that I have a Ford Transit. I love the way the coilovers ride. You know, we've been doing them on the Chevy kits forever. And it just makes a big difference overall in how it handles. I like the adjustability in it, and I like the ability to be able to change it to my driving characteristics. With the high clearance bracket, can you still run the Fox 2.0 shock? Yes, definitely. You can still run a Fox 2.0 with the high clearance bracket, especially if you're going to go bigger than 2 inches. So especially keep in mind, guys, all of the Trail Hero kit works on both the 2-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive. However, with a 2-wheel drive, you have the ability to do a 2, 3, or 5-inch kit. You can do the coilover system on it. If you're going to run a 5-inch kit, then yes, we're definitely running the high clearance brackets. We're getting everything up out of the way, and it is pretty darn awesome. So just know that you have the ability to do that on a 2-wheel drive Ford Transit to make it really better, more ground clearance than an all-wheel drive. That's going to be the test. We really want to take the 2-wheel drive out versus an all-wheel drive and see how they compare together. Basically what I'm saying is see which one we can get stuck first. I noticed when installing the lower arm bracket, the bolt is a reduced shank. Do you guys install a bolt that is longer with a constant shank size? No, we're not. It's riding on that Heim joint. Yes, I get it. Like technically, if this was a race car, I would increase that. I would get a bigger shank size or have a bolt specifically made for that. Guys, this is a glorified car. Yes, this mount is going to be way bigger. And I don't think that it's going to matter having a specific shank size that would be 3/16 to it's 3/16 thicker or longer. Don't think it's going to make that big of a deal. However, if you're that person that's super anal about that, by all means, go ahead, find the right size shank length bolt for that pivot bracket. You're definitely welcome to do that. So on the website, it says that the all-wheel drive is also compatible with the rear-wheel drive. So I kind of think I already went over that you can do on the Ford Transit. You can run the Trail Hero on a 2-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Both of these work. You can run the whole King system on a 2-wheel drive as well. And that's pretty much it for like Q&As when it comes to the Ford Transit. I'm definitely really excited. We're looking at October being able to have these shocks where we can start delivering them to everybody that's already pre-ordered. And if you want to get on that list, give us a call. Let us know that, hey, you want to be on that list. You want a killer set of King shocks for your Ford Transit. I will tell you, it makes a huge difference. We're also looking for a few individuals. If you have a Ford Transit, want to come experience our shocks and what our whole system is all about, we're looking to take you out for the day, kind of show you what's going on, and see if we can change your mind how awesome this whole setup is. I'm loving it. I'm really excited about some new upgrades coming for the Ford Transit. So you heard it first. I'm still not done. I'm making some cool new stuff that is, it's going to be awesome. I mean, I just sit in here like the mad scientist and have some fun. So that's it, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down below. We can do a Q&A, answer more Ford Transit questions. This thing is awesome, but it's going to be even better shortly. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. I'm Jeremy from Weldtec Designs. I'll see you guys later.